Top 5 questions I have about Charlie Baker's proposal. And, you know, I haven't gotten that deep into it other than the bullet points of the thing, so that's why I have these questions. But it does seem to be being met with, being well received from different groups. So
yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people rolling their eyes. Here we go again. This was kind of a little bit different to me.
Well, I mean, especially since the NCAA actually admitted, like, hey, our model's antiquated. We're like the software from Southwest Airlines.
Have
last
they really
Christmas.
admitted that?
I mean, this is what they're doing. Like they've got, like, they have to get with it. Like they really, you know, they have to. I had lunch with some friends today, and
You think the NCAA has a rotary phone anywhere in Indianapolis?
No, but I had lunch with some friends today, and he said, you know, it's kind of astounding that these are all people who, in higher education, like, you don't get a job with an AA degree as the university president, right?
Right.
Like, you don't. You have multiple degrees. You've been in education for a long time. You're surrounded by what are supposed to be the smartest people in their fields. All of this, and then how dumb they are when it comes to things and how they don't see it. And so this is the first time we've seen the NCAA maybe do something. And look, it's kind of scary in that you're just absolutely telling people you're a have and you're a have not.
Yep.
You're saying it like there's always been understood, but you're saying it now. Number 5, can this work within Title IX? That is the plan that it will. I think there are some things that this is what will make it more difficult because this does not allow anybody to be callous and be like, oh, well, I guess we don't need to have women's lacrosse. Done. But because you have to put some into Title IX.
Not some.
Yeah, you have to put
50% of it of whatever you're committed to.
But so 50% of what you're committed to, well, that means you're going to have to raise a whole lot of money to make sure you don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul from football and basketball. So,
well, let me make this clear. They're not going to rob Peter. They're not going to rob men's basketball and football. So they're going to have to come up with more money. So they're going to
come up with more money. And that's where I think the rubber's going to hit the road on some of these things, the decisions schools would have to make. Like, can you really raise enough money to where you don't have to do this? Or you just go, look, we're going to be here. We're going to be in the other one. We can make direct NIL deals. Not everybody can go there. We'll have some fine athletes. We'll have our own championship. It's fine. Number 4, what rules would change? Like they mentioned scholarship limits, NIL, like those kind of rules. What would they change? Would they just kind of keep the same things that they're doing, but police it differently? How do they police it? Is there a commissioner of this? If it's operating separate of the NCAA, how do they do that? I don't know. I mean, like that's something that remains to be seen. And I mean, I think in this regard, that would probably be better than the NCAA because the NCAA, golly, you know, I'm glad that they don't have, you know, they're not in charge of solving murders.
Right.
You know, like it would be really, really bad because they don't know how to investigate things. Number 3, what does this mean for the postseasons? For the college football playoff, the 12 team, like we kind of see where that's going. I may be more curious about the basketball tournament.
Tournament. Well, here's the thing. Football is run by the College Football Playoff Committee.
Yes.
FBS.
Yes.
The basketball tournament is absolutely run by the NCAA.
Okay, but if you're going to have 2 divisions of Division I in the basketball tournament that's much bigger, and I'm going to be in A division, like I'm going to say I'm in A division, and I have different recruiting rules, and I have different other things than you do because I'm policing myself on a different deal, then how do those 2 divisions...
Well, the NABC, which is all of the basketball programs, seems to be in favor of at least the option.
Okay, so... that means that it hopefully won't affect it because it's one of the things that they do really well.
I don't think they want it to affect George Mason or.
Okay,
you would think so.
But if we're going to start doing super leagues, because this is what this could eventually lead to.
I'll tell you this: football can do their super league and probably get away with it. I think they'll lose some people because it's too close to professional football.
Yeah,
and we already see that now with NIL. College basketball needs to be careful about trying to splinter off from the 300 and some schools that are making, to me, what makes March Madness so exciting.
Oh, yeah. They don't
That would be dangerous.
They just don't need to mess
I'm not saying they've even suggested that, but yeah.
Okay. Number 2, what does this mean for conferences? And my question is, okay, look, it's like we heard Pete Nakos, like nobody in the Big Ten or SEC is going to say no to this. Like they would all be able to go up because they have that money and that money that's going to go in, to the trust funds. Big 12, ACC, like when you get into those, are there some schools that just don't want to do this? They can't do it.
Right.
Or they want to do it, but they just cannot, they don't want to put it on the credit card.
Right.
Because some of them will have to put it on the credit card. And some of them will be fine with that because I think some schools operate as if, because it takes forever. Like, look, UCLA's athletic department is in the red, like gigantically, and it's been in the red for a long time, but there's no comeuppance for like a decade, right?
Right.
So they get to meet, like, they get to say, well, we're going to the Big Ten and we can make up for that, and then it makes up for it. But other than an athletic director or a school president getting fired, they're not going to shut down UCLA.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen.
No.
So they just, where.
That's why you saw Ross Dellinger, Nicole Auerbach, among others, ones who were trying to, like, okay, wait a minute, this Title IX thing, because it could be messy.
Because there are schools, and I'll use the example of Texas and their previous athletic director, Steve Patterson. If he could have gotten rid of every non-revenue sport, he would have. Like, he absolutely would have. He was very candid about, like,
and that's a school that is incredibly successful, winning that the cup. Not last year, Stanford did, but
for him, he was totally a businessman.
Yes.
He was not. He had no interest in the higher education aspect of it. He was just, and look, he got run out because he should have been run out. But he gave an interview one time where he said, "Listen, these things are just numbers on a balance sheet to me." Well, they're not though. Those are student athletes. Like, that's what they are. Like, you either want to be in that business that outside of two things is not profitable. Like, outside of that, you either want to be in it or you don't. So that's where it concerns me, is like, who are the ones that just see, like, who see lacrosse and baseball and wrestling as numbers on a balance sheet and not student athletes.
Yep.
That's my concern for this. Is like, where does that happen, and who says, okay, well, we're not going to do that because we just can't.
Yep.
And then they go. Number one, and this falls into that, how many teams can really do this? Who could, like, really do it?
I think it's more than we think,
but
but there will be some casualties.
Yes, more than we think, but less than. There's going to be some people that are bummed that they're in the not Premier League. And
well, if you want to be,
but then you can't. But then you look, if you eventually get the money, maybe you can go and do it. But but yeah, it makes it pretty difficult. Like all of that, and then I'll just throw this one in there. If there's going to be two divisions of this, other than you like getting guarantee games, like, do you want to schedule these teams that are going to be pumping way more money in than you are? It's going to be strange. It's going to be really, really strange. I can't wait to hear more about it. I'm sure these questions will be answered, or should be answered, in the specifics of it. But I do think it's one of those things where it's kind of put some schools on notice about where it's going officially. Like, this where it has to be.
Well, it's always been kind of in the background in the boardrooms or whatever. It's been out there, media. We've discussed. Everyone's discussed it, but now it's out there actually in writing.
Also, they hired Charlie Baker because of his political experience, right? And I have a feeling that doing something like this was the only way to get Congress to do anything that'll help them when it comes to NIL and the regulating those laws nationally. Because what they really need, the basic thing they need with NIL is just a national standard so that Florida, Texas, California, and Georgia all don't have different laws because somebody thought up something new and ran it through. We're like, hey, good old boy slapped this on the back. Guess what Georgia's not doing? They're not doing this. For example, we talked about Quinn Ewers, who could still be the quarterback at Ohio State, right, if he stayed there. Well, the reason he went to Ohio State in the first place is because he couldn't make NIL money when he was in high school, right? So and then he came back to where he wanted to go in the first place. Those kind of laws, they need to be regulated. That's the big deal. And there needs to be a fair marketplace where you regulate the agents as well. But they're not going to do that until the NCAA meets them halfway.
I agree. We were going to get, thank you, Paul, top 5. Craig again has been out.